Hey guys, Kevpert here. Today we're going to do episode 1 of our 2v2 series designed to teach you all about positioning and rotation in a 2 setting. The way this series is going to go is that we're going to watch the pros play, and then you'll see myself try to apply what we've learned with a teammate in future episodes. So today we're going to watch Klassux and Snaski, who have a nice understanding of positioning and are fantastic on transition play. Let's get right into it. Alright, so first thing you're going to notice is that they go for kickoff. Snaski flips left towards his teammate. Dapper actually flips right away from his teammate. So you always want to flip to the side of your teammate. Okay, and here we see something interesting happen after the kickoff. So Snaski gets beaten to the boost. So now he's looking for boost. So now he has a limited ability to support. Anyway, this is going to be a big uncontested clear for blue here. So Snaski wants to get a little deeper. He wants to stay in this sort of area, right? If there's an opportunity, he might want to get this boost here. So there it is, uncontested clear. All right, blue have the second clear as well. So you're just gonna see Snaski grab that boost. He's gonna sweep in, and here's the rotation, defensive rotation. You're gonna see Snaski come across, and you're gonna see Klassux come in behind Snaski as Snaski gets the next hit. Pretty simple rotation. You see that a lot in threes as well. And this is one thing I want to talk about in terms of attacking transition play. So it's about the spacing between the players and how advanced they both are. So in a classic 2 setting, where maybe your teammate is not that great, so I'm talking maybe shooting star, all-star sort of level, you'll see a lot of players support from this sort of position. So the second player being there instead of here. Then you have that first player there, the ball carrier. And so since they're level, right, Klassux has a better ability to support any pass that comes into this kind of area, right? So this is something they do, but it also requires you to read the 50-50 really well. So since Snaski looks odds on to win that, Klassux is able to take over, and he's able to take it up the wall for a center. Now, the big thing I want to talk about here, because this is going to be something that's immediately applicable to all you guys watching, is Snaski and his support. So instead of going for boost, a lot of players will do this. They'll take the opponent's boost, and they'll try to score from a weird angle off the center, and then they'll fly off into the corner or something. What Snaski does really well is he turns out, he comes back to mid, and then he faces the play from a centered position, as opposed to going from a shot from an angled position. So here he goes, gets back, and then he's able to read it. It's very important that Klassux always still tries to hit the backboard to make that movement more effective. So here, Klassux has just passed that. We're going to watch some defensive transition play. So since this is an opportunity for a big clear for blue, Klassux is getting immediately back, and that's a really nice recovery, already supersonic. Just able to put that ball to the side. Snaski is just rotating in behind, and we see that positioning again on the attacking side. So here, again, they're level. And this is good because maybe we can expect to pass this way, and Snaski can support that. Now, that's not what happens, but uncontested hit, you can be very advanced. Now, since this goes down the sideline, Snaski, instead of continuing his movement this way, he actually just goes this way and supports on the sideline. Why? Because Dapper's right there, and the ball's going to come right down that sideline really quickly. So Snaski there for sideline support, able to get the next hit. And Klassux unable to turn there because blue have an uncontested hit. So uncontested hit, but it's going back down the wall. So you're going to see actually Snaski get an opportunity for a recenter there. So Klassux is going to try to do that same turn that we saw Snaski do earlier. It's just not going to come off. So Klassux just ends up turning back. But bit of a theme here. And this is really good turn and clear. He pops it up again. You see Snaski do the exact same turn. So we've seen it 3 times in the first 45 seconds. So this is how you support lofted centers or high centers. You get to mid, you turn, and you just try to support from a centered position. Now Snaski reads this ball really well, because it's very obvious Miho has that hit. So Snaski's just going to rotate. And the way you want to defend in 2s, and I talk about this in 1s a lot, is you want to defend from an angle. Because if you defend from an angle, you can start sweeping across the back, and then you can cover the entire goal from a angled position. That means you have your boost behind you, etc. So that's exactly what happens. Klassux able to get boost. Snaski hits that. And then Klassux going to take that as a pass. Take it down. He's a bit lucky that Dapper hits that right into him. Not the greatest hit from Dapper, but very nice play from both of them. So far, we're seeing very good support on the centers. We're seeing very advanced positioning on the defensive transitions. Defensive to attacking. And we're seeing very quick transitions back. So remember how I talked about in the first kickoff how it's really important to flip towards the side of your teammate? We're going to see Blue not heed that advice. So you see Snaski just supporting here. So let's focus on Blue for a moment. You're going to see Dapper flip this way away from his teammate who's getting boost on that side. To me, that makes no sense. This is the second time they're doing it, and they're going to get punished for it. So there it is. And now Orange have a nice opportunity just to get this flicked. So really poor play from Dapper. He should be flipping to the other side towards his teammate. So that gets Orange the goal. All right, again here, you're going to see that same thing. Snaski's going to flip left. Klassux goes left. So this makes me think that Orange have a framework for approaching their kickoffs. Like a kickoff strategy. So Klassux going this way. Snaski is going to attempt to pinch it out this way. Now, the outcome isn't that, but you can see the intent is there. Right, so actually Blue winning that kickoff. Klassux going up for that. And you're going to see Snaski just sweep in behind. He's going to accept the next shot, so he needs to be in a position around here where he can cover the entire net with the boost behind his car. So that's exactly what he does. You'll see Klassux just try to rotate back into the middle. All right, once this looks like another hit for Orange, Klassux is going to turn and trying to support. Right. If it doesn't look like it's going to be an attacking opportunity for Orange, he's just going to rotate back and he's going to start going towards the net. So here it is. All right, he sees Dapper approaching, so he goes up the wall, gets a block. And here, this is a bit odd. I think Blue don't have any boost, so Snaski's able to hit that off the back wall. And here we see some offensive pressure. I really like this play here. So let's talk about this transition play. So here we see the spacing is very close, very level. Right? And since this ball looks like it's going to go down the sideline, Klassux just wants to hold off and be a little further in behind. So this ball is going to go like this. So that sometimes opens up opportunities for Blue to re-clear down the wall this way. So Klassux really wants to be a little further behind from Snaski at this point. So just watch how that plays out. So big clear. All right, now looks like Klassux can get this next hit. So you're going to see Snaski rotate in behind. Klassux go up for that hit and try to pass back to Snaski. So this is how you keep pressure with two people. Nice lofted hit. Right, it's not slammed into the net, into the wall. And it gives Snaski an opportunity for a shot that doesn't work out. So the recovery here is very important. This is something I talk about with my teammates quite a bit. And it's about who should step to the ball. So you see Snaski's recovering towards net. This is an opportunity for Klassux to come across and try to activate the ball carrier or whoever has the ball for Blue. And the way this works is that instead of having this player go for a turn and clear, you have a person in net and you have a person activating that player. This is really effective more so for players that dribble out the back and are looking very dangerous. So as this ball comes across, Snaski is able to get this next hit. Klassux going to support. Now, as soon as it looks like the 50-50 might not go Orange's way, Klassux drops out and goes for the boost. So he actually makes a mistake here. Mechanical error. I think he just misses the ball. And this causes a goal for Blue. Okay, so here you see Klassux drop out. And Snaski's just going to rotate to net. It's going to take a wide angle, and it's going to step out. So Klassux, who's landed in that positioning upfield from the previous aerial attempt, you're just going to see him just try to keep this ball up and high. He's not going to go for a shot. Right? Any shot you go for is going to be weak from this sort of angle, so he just pops it up. This gives Klassux time to get boost on the side there, and the Snaski can go for a challenge here. So there it is. Really good opportunity for Klassux. So the support from Snaski here is really good. Looks like Miho's having some trouble on the wall here. Is this going to catch it? So that means Snaski can be a little more advanced and go for a dunk. You'll see Klassux on the right there grab that boost and then get in a support position. Again, starting from a central area. Almost gets there. Alright, Snaski has some time to grab that boost and turn. Alright, gets a 50. Klassux slamming it into the wall from that advanced positioning. And then they get the goal. So the second piece of that rotation there is Klassux, who's already moving out, has the flexibility, right, to see that since the 50-50 is coming towards him, he's just going to hit this into the wall for a simple wall pass for Snaski to score. So there it is. Simple wall pass. Takes Dapper out of the game. And there you go. So Klassux showing some flexibility there in supporting the play instead of just rotating out. So here it looks like Klassux is going for a kill. Snaski supporting very well. So they're very good on kickoffs. And here is another goal. So let's break down what happened. Looks like just a mistake from blue there, doesn't it? So here's the hit into the corner. Looks like just a straight pass to Klassux. I mean, Klassux does turn out well there from the left, but it's just a bit odd from blue. Okay, there's a complete kill. Klassux just gonna drop off there. Really don't want to just rush in there when there's so many players right behind the ball. And at this point, he just needs to get in between the ball just to push it to the side. You're not gonna try to backflip. You're not gonna try to win this. You just want to get as much in the way as possible. And then Klassux gonna try to take this off the wall. Again, you see Snaski trying to get level with Klassux just in case he beats him. But since he doesn't, you're just going to see Snaski just rotate back. Right? He just rotates back into net. And then he's going to let Klassux go for this. Or he should have, if Klassux is there. So this is something I talked about in my last threes episode. Sorry, episode 6, where I talk with my own team. And it's this rotation here. So the near post rotation. And then that means this player has to be aware and just stay here. Right? If this player is going to go here, then Klassux just needs to rotate behind. But you can't both go for the same hit here. Right? So this is inefficient. Frankly, it's not good positioning. So it looks like they weren't aware. They weren't communicating that what they were trying to do. So Klassux surprising Snaski there. That's really not a dangerous position until Klassux hit that. Wouldn't have been dangerous either if Snaski had stayed in that. Okay, so looks like Snaski's going to try to defend the corner. He's going to catch it here, and then he's going to flick this out. Really like that. And then I love Klassux positioning here because he covers a lot of different angles. So let's talk about this. So as Snaski hits his forward, Klassux is flipping towards the sideline because he's covering the most angles here. So as Snaski takes it there, there's several things that might happen. So if there is a clear, and the clear comes back out this way, then Klassux can simply, from that position, just do sideline support. Now, alternatively, if Snaski hits it into the wall here from his next hit, Klassux is in a nice position to get the next hit into the corner. We saw a play like that earlier when Snaski had a chance to score. And on top of that, you'll see here, right, he's able to, if the ball just comes central, he can just come around and go for a shot from a nice angle, right, from the centered position. So this ball is uncontested. Klassux is going to go immediately into the corner, and he engages in some corner defense. And the reason why corner defense is so important, I talk about this in a 3 setting too, but 2s it's even more important because it's harder to do because you have no one to back you up if you miss. So since you are isolated, right, if you never let the ball cross the plane of the corner, so if you never let the ball get into the back wall area, you are pretty successful in turning, generally successful in turning a defensive situation into an attacking one. So what ends up happening is if the ball does cross into this sort of plane onto your back wall, you generally clear it back in there. It makes everything very predictable. Another team can have some offensive pressure. They just kind of recenter all the time. So by doing this, you prevent those opportunities for blue to recenter, and you get out. Now, that's a really good play from Miho there, and Klassux is going to sweep this. So here, really nice job taking up the wall. And Klassux does that quite a bit. And Snaski has some good decision making there, so let's cover that. So as this ball goes up, you see Snaski, he's just stopped. Right? Because he, instead of going for the pass, he understands that, okay, blue has the next hit. So now he's just going to start moving back. He's going to start thinking about, okay, how do I defend the goal? And if he can, he's going to try to delay the play as much as possible so that Klassux can get back into net. So that's what he does. You don't have to tackle sometimes. It's all about delaying sometimes. And Klassux gets back. All right, this is not very dangerous, and Klassux easily able to save that. So here we see an example that doesn't work out for blue because it's more of a miss from Miho. But this is why corner defense is so important. Once you let that ball get up onto your back wall, you give players an opportunity to recenter. So if Miho got a recenter here, Dapper's in a pretty good position to score. Alternatively, maybe Dapper's position should be around here. And if Klassux, hit that ball, it's very predictable. That sort of thing can get recentered very easily. So in 2 settings, it's very important that you try to cut it out before it gets to the corner. Klassux doing okay on the wall there, though. So here we see Snaski supporting. Going for a 50. And since Klassux leaves, Snaski goes for the next hit. Alright, so still a little too far to support. And looks like a nice attempt at a turn clear there. Really smart play. So since we don't know what's going to happen in this corner, Snaski just slowed down, and then as he's reading this play, he just comes around and he does a turn and clear, goes for a 50, try to keep some pressure in there. And then Klassux, who's rotating out, is flexible enough to just approach that ball. So very important that Snaski just keeps the ball in there as opposed to letting blue get out. So now we have opportunity for corner defense. That is fantastic. That's a phenomenal hit. This is exactly what I was talking about earlier. But instead of going centrally and coming from this sort of position and attacking out and really getting yourself stuck in defensive rotation where you're just hitting it that way, blue's hitting it back, Snaski just goes up the wall, has the ability to clear this all the way across the field. He gets an on the bounce, which is the most powerful kind of clear you can get on the wall. And so he gets essentially a power shot into the opponent's net. Fantastic. Love it. That's something I've been working on as well. Okay, here, strangely enough, Snaski doesn't flip left to support and try to get the ball to Klassux. He flips right, and this actually creates an opportunity for blue to score. Klassux doing very well to accept the shot and defend. So a bit of a whiff there from Snaski. It's going to look sloppy for a little bit as Snaski misses this one as well. So now we have a 2v1 situation, and Klassux doing really well just to get across the goal. You see his positioning here. He's sweeping across the net, getting sideways on so that he can cover the entire net with his boost behind him. Like that a lot. Okay, and he just slows down just to accept the shot and make the save. So yeah, a bit sloppy from Orange right now. Another whiff there. And the whiffs are debilitating because they really mess up your opponent, especially if you're in advanced positions and expecting a hit. Okay, so now we're seeing them recover. Klassux defending into the corner. Snaski just rotating into the net. So here, that's all that is. You see Klassux going like this. Snaski goes into the net, and then Snaski gets in a position where he can support. So that his positioning. It looks like they both end up trying to go for that. Really sloppy. Just 5 seconds left. I mean, I accept a sloppy 30 seconds if they are really good throughout the whole game. So just to recap, we saw a lot of good twos play today. Early on in the game, we saw really good support off of high centers. where players were circling back to midfield to attack the ball from a center position. The transition to attack from the back was also really fast. We see an example right here, and players are almost always occupying aggressive positions to support the next pass, but also had the flexibility to drop back into deeper supporting positions if the pass never happened, for example, if it went down the sideline. And we also saw great defending from Orange as well, where players were excellent rotating back to net with quick boost grabs, and they were able to cover the goal from sideways on positions. Also, they were really good at preventing offensive pressure through aggressive corner defense. We saw that last play from Snaski where he scored immediately. We saw some other examples where Klassux was doing really well on the corner balls as well. Now, in terms of what we can apply today, you can immediately start circling back to the midfield to support high centers. And when going for a counterattack, you can try to be more aggressive, turn a little faster, and try to get level with your teammate to open up for immediate pass. If that doesn't happen, that's when you drop out. So those are some simple things that you'll see myself try to implement in the next episode. And hope you guys learned a lot. So thanks for watching. I know you guys have been asking for twos for a while, so I'm happy to do this. Alright, have a good one, guys.